Oh, oh my god, dude. Fuck you, bro. Too ridiculous. Too fucking ridiculous. Something about. Oh, background. Oh, oh,
Oh, there we go. Cool. Oh, cool. Hold on. I'm gonna explain my drama stuff, but I'd rather Stefan get on here first. Or Rip City. Let's see if you actually got that. Because I fucking tonight was just too much. Ay, ay. Ay, ay, ay. Man, what do I do to, like, deserve drama for, like, helping people? You know what I mean? Because, like, I'm just, like, getting a little, I don't know, dude. After today, I'm kind of at, like, a fulcrum point, and I'm just like, what the fuck? I'll have to, explain it, you know, in, like, point by point, and it's gonna be so fucking difficult. And I don't even know how I'm gonna be able to do it, but we'll try, I guess. And I've explained it before a little bit, but I don't know, dude. At this point, it's just like it's getting to be a little too fucking ridiculous. In a sense of just like the tension around it that I feel like is unnecessary, and I'm trying to figure out what's the best route to go with what's going on. But I'm trying to get Rift City on here, so maybe he'll get his like, so I can explain it to him, especially because he's asking me questions about it. Because I don't want to just sit here and like text out the message to him right now and just explain it there. Like I just want him here so he can just like hear me say it. So I have no idea if. Yeah, whatever. I mean, I'll get into it eventually, but like. I'm just kind of like. A, just like a dude in the middle of like a situation between two friends where they're like like, just basically just become like total fucking like enemies at this point, where it's like, what the fuck do I even do? You know what I mean? It's like, cause I still see both of them as my friends, and it's just like, and I don't want what the fuck is going on for both of them right now. You know what I mean? And it's just like, what the fuck can little old me do to at least try to help alleviate this problem? Because I don't know. Like, after tonight, there was like some extra shit that happened outside of like the initial story I was gonna try to fucking get into, where it's just like, fuck me, bro, dude, what the fuck? Uh, I I mean, so I might as well just say fucking get with it. Like, I mean, like, at least like to, I guess, like anyone that's like, watched my stream, especially in the most recent past, like I've been, like, letting two friends who are homeless right now, who were like kind of like, boyfriend, girlfriend, and like friends, and I don't think they are anymore at this point, even on the front. And like, if like, at least, for a short little bit, like, it wasn't really a big deal. Like, I mean, it was all kind of fine, hunky-dory and stuff like that. Not, no real problems, etc. Like, and even if, like, one of them was here by themselves, there was nothing wrong. Like, there was times where, like, both of them here, nothing wrong. And, but in, like, the last, like, fucking month, like, off and on, like, like maybe like twice or 3 times a week, and this week being like exceptionally like a lot. Like, they would be having spats and arguments and shit, and it's just like, a lot of them wouldn't be necessarily at my house, but there were times where it was. And actually, there was one fucking stream that was happening. I think initially because her dog family, the person I'm referring to, one of them, I'll just call her Macy. At least as a synonym. But she, lost her dog for a second, and he ended up being down the street and be fine and stuff like that. But like, he like he ran off for a second and just like, started melting out and stuff, and that ended up being a big argument and spat and stuff. And then like earlier today, like I don't even know how I conveniently timed it in my stream, but literally minutes after I finished my stream earlier today, they started having their spat of some sort. I'm just like, what the fuck is going on? I'm just like, I mean, and this is the part where I don't want to necessarily get like too much into detail quite yet, just until Rip City gets in here, because like this part gets just fucking absurd. Because like, I mean, like, as soon as as soon as I did that, I was, getting ready to go, grab a burrito, like I said after the end of my stream, and like, with that, basically, like, like, there was like something going on, between them, when it came to that situation. I don't know what or what started it or anything, but like, I mean, she was claiming that like my friend Armando was like stole like money, or like her little wallet pack thing and stuff like that. I mean, and all sort of shit, and it's just like, what? I mean, like, I mean, like, even though I just, came back home from, like, my friends, earlier today, like, I mean, there wasn't anything going on here, like, for all intents and purposes. Like, I came back home around, like, noon to 1, and nothing was going on. Everything was all nice, quiet, hunky-dory. The door was locked, if anything, so I was like, oh, well, better go around and unlock the door, and I'll just open it and let my dog out and stuff, and just let him do his own thing, and that was it. It's like, in fact, I think on stream I opened the door to let my dog out, like at the very beginning of it. So it's like, I didn't think anything of it. It wasn't a big deal. And then, I guess at some point, like, she was kind of worried about Finley being missing again, even though he was literally in here. Because mine was like, oh, did he come in here? And I was like, oh, he just literally went outside. He probably in the backyard. or whatever, and he walked out, and then they're asking, oh, where is he, or Macy was asking where is she, and I was like, this is like at the very near end of it. I was like, oh well, he was out for a little bit. He came back inside, and I was like, oh well, he was, hey, I was, turn around the corner. It's like, oh, wait, you're looking for him, and they're like, yeah, we were wondering, like, where is he? So like, oh, he's just hanging out with me. It was in there earlier, and then walked out probably backyard, and came back inside, and I was like, so whatever. Which Zukov does that, so I'm sure family did the same thing. So it's like whatever. I mean, like it's just like I think honestly a lot of paranoia on her part, and I don't want to mention the cop part yet because there's 3 fucking different instances of these motherfuckers showing up, and it's like, bruh. It's like, dude. I mean, it's like, goddamn. And I hate talking with them. I don't like having them around. I don't want them, here. Like, the last time, the third time they came here was like 30 minutes ago. And I was just like, they popped out of nowhere. They like popped over here all of a sudden because him and I were chatting. I was like, and he was asking, oh, is Mom in there? And he kind of, he went over here for a second. I was like, and I was kind of taking a shock, like, hello, wait, what's going on? I was just like, I was kind of like, I was like, I didn't even have a chance to say anything. I was just like, what the fuck? What are y'all doing here out of nowhere? And of course they're looking for him, and I was just like, okay. And, so yeah, they came to arrest him for something. I don't even know what. But it's just like, honestly, I feel like it might have not been meritable. So honestly, tomorrow I'm gonna go down there and ask and be like, hey, look, I mean, what, here's my perspective of this, because like honestly, I can't even necessarily explain it all here. So I feel like actually having like sit down and like with them, because I know they got a fucking report about this, like in a like in case files on this. I'm just gonna be honest, I know they do. So it's just like, I mean, to at least try to add a little extra nuance to it and try to like help paint the picture a little better, I think will help. Because like, I don't know by what. I don't trust the cops to do a fucking lick to help, frankly, to be honest with you. But like, I mean, what the fuck, it's like, I just want to try to find the best outcome for everybody in this situation. And it's like, and, seeing one of my friends in that situation, it's like, look, I mean, I'm going to at least be honest as fuck from my perspective, but like, I'm doing it, because I want to help both of them. And it's like, and I don't want to see him, in prison for something that I don't think he did personally. And I think might have been considered hyperbolic. And I just want to, like give my take. And, I granted whatever the fuck happened when I'm not around, or if I'm not at my house, like the second instance they showed up, like, and all this other stuff, it's just like, I mean, like, I don't know what happens at that point, but I'll at least, explain from my specific instances of like, what I can remember of like these different accounts that have happened. And it's like, cause they've happened a lot, not just here, but in other places. I'm, that around town, at my work, it's like other places, and it's just like, I mean, to me, it's something that needs to obviously be addressed at some point, and there needs to be like some sort of systemic help specifically for them. But I mean, like this same reciprocal cycle going on right now ain't fucking doing anyone wonders. And and I'm a guy that like advocates for practice and things like mutual aid and stuff, and I try to do my part, obviously, and but unfortunately there's only so much you could do with that. And it's like, like, I mean, at a certain point you have to look to the system to try to help you where you can't. And it's like, what the fuck do you do at that point? That's like where I'm at with this, because like, what the fuck? And like I said, I can't really explain it in every tiny little detail. I mean, it's because in a way it's hard to explain. Outside of the fact that there's certain variables that I certainly do know and strongly have a suspicion of knowing, or at least being a possibility. And we've been doing this on stream lately. We've been doing true crime stuff lately. We've been, and I have a kick into it. And it's like, and weirdly enough, I kind of feel like, this is my own version of that, my own life right now. It's like, and weirdly enough, I at least want to see the best outcome when it comes to like true crime cases and stuff, right? And I guess in a way I want to see that here, like, because if law enforcement and that type of shit's gonna be involved in, I like let's try to get that in the best outcome possible at least then. And I'll just be blunt with them. I'll be honest. I ain't gonna fucking spew them no bullshit. I want to give them like my genuine perspective and tell them like this is what I know. Here's what I think, and here's what I believe, is a possibility of what might be going on. And I don't think everything that, she may be saying, or, maybe, to be frank, I'm wrong, because I don't fucking know. I'm just a middleman in this situation. Like, I'm just trying to piece the puzzle together just as much as they probably are in a way, So it's like, what do you do? If anything, maybe, like, like having the, like a talk with one of them, might give me some information, be like, I mean, like, but try to help piece this puzzle together, because, I mean, I don't mind, if it helps both of them, because I don't want to see any of them incarcerated, or this and that, or whatever the fuck, like, I just want to see them get back on their feet, you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, I don't want, like, but, that's also the pickle. I don't trust cops, so if I'm supposed to go to them to try to, like, piece or help piece this puzzle together, and they're not in your best interest, then would I be helping? So what the fuck do I do? You know what I mean? Like, it's like, honestly, at the end of the day, I think it's just in the best interest of, for at least for my own self, I think, and for my own property and my own family to maybe do it. But beyond that, like, I mean, it's I don't know, like, I mean, like I said, I don't trust cops, but also at the same time, when it comes to, like, me understanding that, like, there's two perspectives, well, I guess three perspectives, two sides is in the truth, at least as my dad likes to call it. There's one side, there's one perspective of a story, the other perspective of the story, and then the truth of the story. And and that's what I'm trying to do, to get to the truth of the story, you know what I'm saying? And then try to find the best outcome for everybody because of that. Because, I don't want to see, like, my friend over here suffering and shit. Or, or my friend Amado, who's in fucking jail now for something. I don't know what. Thought I'm a Confucius MC. Finally, I've been waiting for you. I've kind of hold the details of like my interaction with the cops with this shit up until this point, because I mean a lot of what I'm kind of been talking about isn't it's pretty much the equivalent of what I've kind of told you guys so far. So here, let me get into that now. Now do you hear? Because the first interaction was so it was like literally right after I ended my stream. It was like 5 minutes afterwards, or give or take. I was about to like go, I got my harness on for Zukov and stuff like that. So I wanted to do it in chat. Couldn't come on my. Well, I mean, I couldn't chat immediately because by the time he sent that, I'm like, well, I'm about to stream, and I was literally setting it up. So, what? I guess we caught each other at a bad time. Either way, but you're here now, so regardless. But so like. I mean, like, at least when, while I was streaming stuff, like, I mean, even Armando was, popping in back and forth, pretty chill and stuff. Came knocking to Rooster. No, not yet. Like, what happened is that I am a stream and they started having a fight over something. I don't know exactly what. I think, the accusation was, like, he took her driver's license and money and stuff like that, in her, like, little wallet or whatever, and which he didn't. I mean, he was saying, it's like, I don't know what she's talking about. Like, she's saying that, accusing me, I'm like, stuff I didn't do, and like taking his wallet of her or some whatever, but I didn't misplace it or, steal it or anything. I don't know what the fuck she's talking about, blah, blah. And like, kind of back and forth having this like spat. And at some point, they had like a little tussle of some sort, and, and like, slammed the shed door. It was like, and, fucking just like, said, fuck this, I can't deal with her anymore, and walked off. And then it was about, I don't know, like 10 minutes later after that, 5-10 minutes later after that, which, like, that's when they came over. And I was like, well, I can hear her calling them. So I was like, well, fuck it. I'll just stay here with my dog. And I was going to go meet one of my other coworkers up at Super Burrito to go get some food. And I was like, well, all right, well, I'll just call him and let him know, or I'm going to be a minute, And I was kind of, talking to him on the front porch. And I was like, hey, yo, like, tell him the situation. And then, he's like, oh, hey, I'm seeing 2 cop cars, go up your street and turning on your corner. I was like, all right, well, here, I'll hang up here. And, and they showed up, and I said, hey, what's up? And they asked me, oh, is she over, about shed and whatever. I was like, yeah. And I just kind of gave them a gist about what I said, what I saw, which is the same thing here. And I was like, and honestly, from what I was hearing, at least, from what I did see, I don't know. And I'm not 100% for certain that, he was like doing anything like aggressive or assaulting her and stuff. So I don't know what the hell's going on, but like, I mean, this has happened a couple times in the past because I've been letting him stay here and stuff like that. And, I just like, and I'm kind of getting to a point where like, I don't want to be doing, like this like angsty, stressful type of shit. And they asked me, it's like, well, do you want her to leave and stuff? It's like, well, I just want her to chill out. Like, I don't want to like be a dick because she's, a friend of mine, but like both of them are. So like, I don't want, so I'm not, so I was like, all right, well, like, look, I just want him to chill out. Like, that's all. Like, just be chill. Like, that's it. Like, if you're gonna have your beefs and shit, just don't do it at my place. That's it. You know what I mean? Like if you feel like that's gonna happen, one of you just fucking walk off for a little bit or something. It's like, holy shit. It's like, I don't need that shit around here. You know what I mean? It's like, So I was waiting for a little bit because they were talking with her for a while, and my friend was kind of pestering me to go off to Super. I was like, all right, fine. So then the second interaction I had with them specifically was when I came back to Super Rio because one of them was waiting for me. He's like, hey, I want to ask a couple questions. Like, oh yeah, sure. I and I told him, it's like, my friend was kind of waiting for me because he was hungry. So, I kind of figured he might have stuck around and stuff. So it's like, yeah, I just want to ask a few questions, blah, blah. It's like, so you've been letting them stay for a while and this and that. I'm like, yeah, they're both of them my friends. Mine was a former coworker. Both of them used to live in apartments down the street and this and that. And it's like, all right, yeah, I know about that, and blah, blah, blah. So it's like, they're at least trying to collaborate information with me. And it's like, and also that officer seemed a little skeptical about some of her claims herself too, or himself as well. So it's like, they recognize him too. Like, he's somebody I kind of remember a little bit, or, he seems vaguely familiar. So I want to see if maybe he's working tomorrow. Maybe I can just like have a one-on-one conversation with him or something. Be like, hey, here's a little more information here. Like, I want to like follow up and this and that. Because I understand, and I was kind of here, and they showed up when I was here. So, by the way, there's more information that happened since I fucking sent that long-ass message, by the way. So, while I sent that message, because I was at the Wichita pub when I was there, playing some pool, because I was like, fuck it, whatever. Or, well, not, well, whatever. I was here at home, actually. I came back from the pub. Either way, whatever. Like, not even, like, 5 minutes, like not even like 5 minutes after that, Marno came back and he got some pizza from 7-Eleven, and he was like, hey, I'm just, he wants pizza, and she was obviously being like, fuck you, whatever to him. And it's like, geez, I'm just trying to offer pizza or whatever, and had it over here, and him and I just were talking for like an hour, and then like the cops showed up again, and they like popped up out of nowhere, here to arrest him and shit. I was just like, what the fuck? Like, I didn't expect that, because apparently while I was at the Wichita pub, there was another instance that happened, and my dad kind of caught a little bit of a wing of it because he had to talk to cops then, and obviously he didn't know anything, so it's like I had to literally explain to him kind of the general just situation, and he's just like, oh, because when I've told him some of my synopsis about the situation, he's like, oh, that reminds me when me and your mom were tweaking back in the 90s. I'm like, oh, well, great, thanks for telling me that. It's like, so I was just like, well, fuck. I mean, so, yeah, like, I mean, to eat the rooster, yeah, I mean, and honestly, and now at this point tomorrow, like I had kind of a game plan of what I wanted to do tomorrow, but you know what, I'm changing it. Like, I'm gonna go to the like public safety building and see if I can talk with an investigator or something about this case and try to be like, hey, I want to try to give more elaboration, a little bit more details from my side of things, because like the last time some shit went down, I was there for at least 2 of the 3 different times, that was at my property, so I want to at least try to give my perspective, because I've been letting her stay there for about a month or so, give or take, and just try to help paint a better light to the situation, I guess, and at least, try to build the puzzle pieces together, you know what I mean? Like, because, like, it's getting ridiculous, and I want to, like, find a way for both of them to get the outlets they need to get on track. Because, what's being charged with? I would assume assault. Because she's claiming that he hit her a bunch of times. But at least from what I was seeing from when I was over here, I don't know if that was going on. So I don't know if that's the case. I'm sure they probably had a tussle. One of them, like, try to shove each other and stuff like that. But I don't know if it went to full-on assault status, which I guess technically under the law, shoving, is assault. But, I mean, I don't think it was, like, to the exact level. I don't know, like, it's one of those things where, where you don't really see everything and you only kind of hear some of it, and then, see a little bit less of it. It's like, you don't know. So it's like, I mean, you can only kind of get an idea about what might be happening, It's like, and at least, from what I can get an understanding of, from what I observed and was hearing, like, I don't know if it was, like, full-on assault and shit. She was cool with cops. Yeah, it's just cool for me. Like, now that she's just chilling here, she's fine. This is another thing, too. Like, when one of them are here by themselves, they're fine. Like, she's just chilling here by herself, she's fine. If Amar's just chilling here by himself, he's fine. Like, when they're by themselves here, they're fine. So, like, obviously, at this point, it's like there's so much tension between them that they just need to, like, stay separate from each other at this point. And just, like, whatever shit they got to figure out. Because they both got shit to work on, and, and maybe, honestly, it is the best case for both of them to just not interact with each other. Maybe that really probably is the best case, It's like, what's going on? One person capacity limit for Path Shack. That's kind of what I'm thinking, and, like, because I don't want to necessarily, like, say, hey, you can only be here for a certain amount of time or certain days and stuff, but, like, I don't know. Like, I mean, like, I want to try to, like, help both of them in a way, because, they're both my friends. I both care about them, and I don't want to see her tweaking out and shit, and I don't want to see my friend get caught up in bullshit that he might not necessarily want to be in anymore, because he's trying to, like, get away from this type of stuff, you know what I mean? Like, he doesn't want to be twinking anymore and all that shit. Like, he wants to, like, he's told me in the past, like, I want to get away from this. I'm sick of living this type of lifestyle. Like, I want to try to get my shit back on track, and she seems like, the one that kind of enables it. And it's like, and I don't know if that's just because of, like, their interactions or what. I don't know, but they definitely need to be, not around each other anymore. I think that, is certainly, the case. It's like, if they both want to stay here, then just, like, stay here just separately. Like, have, like, I'll work something out where, like, 1 week, one of you are staying here 3 days a week, and then the other one's staying 4, then vice versa or something. I don't know. I'm willing to work with them. It's like, because I'm still willing to give a benefit of doubt despite the shit going on. But like, I still have to draw a line in the sand. You know what I mean? Like, and I want to, like, especially at least let law enforcement, especially now that my house is on their fucking radar with all the shit, to try to like fucking give a better like painting of the picture. Because, like I said, I just want what's best for both of them, and also for me and my pops here, and for all my other friends that may pop up here, and that shit might be happening. You know what I mean? It's like, it's for the best interest of literally everybody, especially for both of them. It's like, and honestly, I don't even know what the fuck happened when the cops showed up the second time when my dad was here, and he doesn't even know. He just heard some shit going on, and then at some point the cop showed up and asked him a couple questions, and he didn't know anything, which I don't blame him. I mean, he knows that they're here and chilling, but he doesn't know like the full story and stuff. Well, at this point he does. I've been telling him now at this point, like giving him back and forths about it. But like, at least by that point, he was just like, I don't know what's going on with that, which I don't blame him. So whatever. It's like. Because really, this is kind of a little bit my burden, considering I'm the one who will let him, chill here. So it's like, it's definitely my issue to solve. So, it's not his problem. Because, like, fuck, dude. I mean, I definitely probably got a little far ahead of myself when it comes to the mutual aid praxis. Because, I'm an advocate for that, and I practice what I preach. I mean, like, how many times I've helped Harley, Logan, shit like that. I've helped out different coworkers. I've helped Tomardo in the past, even prior to all the situation. I've helped one of my coworkers, like Scotty, a couple times. My, Fred Durst, well, not literally, but, my former roommate. Like, like, I'm a guy who's willing to offer the open hand. Like, so it just kind of annoys me when, like, it kind of gets spat in my hand gets spat on when shit like this happens. And, like, regardless of the circumstances, and regardless who really does it, it's annoying. I mean, and, like, and like I said, I want to try to at least, find the best outcome for both of them, man. So maybe I could find a little bit more information, with the MPD, if I can maybe kind of collaborate my my knowledge and stuff like that with what they might know and all sort of shit, especially with tonight, because like, I mean, I want to, like I said, I want what's best for both of them, and I don't think what happened tonight is cool, for one, and two, is something that I think is meritable given their fucking circumstances. And honestly, especially after the third time. Like, my friend Amanda was asking, like, while he was being handcuffed, I walked up to one of the cars, like, hey, I want some socks. So I was like, hey, I can bring them to him, and, one of the cops walked me over to him with the other two, and I was like, oh, here's some socks for you, for him. And, like, before I could say anything, he's like, oh, can you go back in your house now, please? I was just like, well, I was kind of like in my mind, like, well, fuck you too, pig. I was going to ask you, like, hey, do you have a card that I can maybe call you later tomorrow? That I can maybe, like, come up or something to the, station, and maybe, like, like, I was going to ask him some shit like that, but he was like, oh, no, go back inside. Like, immediately as soon as I handed it to him. I was like, well, okay, well, fuck you, pig. Like, I was going to ask you, maybe, like, be friendly with you a little bit, the rare time I ever will be with a cop, and, well, nope. It's like, good grief, dude. I mean, so I'm just gonna say fucking just go down there on my own and just go from there, I guess. Because, I mean, like I said, I want to try to, like, figure out what's the best outcome for everything, especially for everybody, and try to, like, see what outlets, resources, even within the local city area, this and that. Like, I'm just trying to find out what, can be done, given the circumstances. With cops. That's what I mean. And that's the problem. Like, that's the dilemma I have with it. I don't trust the cops. So it's just like, I mean, like, that's another thing. Like, I mean, how much do I say without, like, feeling like, not really incriminating myself. I'm not worried about that. But with incriminating either of them. because I'm not trying to necessarily do that, so to speak. You know, I don't know. Court clerk instead. Well, I don't know if that's would that be at the public safety building or whatever? Like, that's in Milwaukee or some shit, because that would be where I would go, because that's where the bacon bin is. So, I mean, I don't know. It's like it's one of those things where I'm just trying to figure out like the best outcome at this point. I don't know, honestly. Yeah, see, I don't. Yeah, that's kind of my dilemma, because that's the only thing I could think of. It's just like, just try to help. When it comes to like whatever information they know between the case between these two and stuff like that. When it comes to their report on them, I just want to try to help paint the better picture for whatever's going on with that, just so they understand that, like, there's honestly, like, more going on than just simply like, what's being portrayed here, because I think there is, and I think a lot of it is like a undiagnosed mental illness potentially, like, or multiple undiagnosed disease. I mean, and the thing is, I mean, that shit like that can certainly be treatable, but you have to kind of get diagnosed and understand and know that you got that shit going on for that to be the possibility. If not, it's just only going to get worse. They're just trying to get their quotas and are more likely to use what they say against you. Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, that's my problem. Like, I mean, I know how cops act and I know how they operate. Though it's like at the same time, the Milwaukee police are pretty laissez-faire in a sense. They don't really give that much of a shit outside of like, well, domestic disputes or traffic quotas. That's pretty much about as far as they go. And, and at the end of the day, like, I mean, they don't really do that much beyond that. So it's like, I mean, honestly, I'm kind of surprised they actually did shit tonight. Especially cops don't decide to press charges. That's up to DA. Yeah, that's true. So, I mean, but either way, like I said, I'm just saying, like, whatever information I can, give might be able to at least, help with the case, I guess. I don't know. Maybe it's just like a futile attempt to try to, like, help both of them, but might just incriminate one of them or both of them. I don't know. Like, it's just one of those things where it's like, fuck, dude. The thing is, like I said, there are, like, at least with the second interaction I did have with them before the second time they were called up here, when one of them was waiting for me after Super Burrito, like, before he left, he got some of my information, including my phone number, to be like, all right, we might call you, in case we need some other information. So I have a strong suspicion they might call me tomorrow anyway. So I don't know. I'm probably just gonna go down there anyway and just say fuck it, like, because they're probably gonna call me down there anyway. Just to be like, hey, so since this all happened to your property, I just want to kind of give your take, blah, 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 since you're at least here for one instance, and blah, yada, yada. Like, I kind of have a feeling that's going to happen anyway. So, I'm probably going to have to go there whether I like it or not. Honestly. You know what? Fuck it. I mean, it's like, that's kind of why I'm thinking about it. Two belligerent gamblers at the roadhouse every once in a while. They probably heard some dudes on the shack pops cause trouble. Cha-ching. Yeah. And the thing is, the fact that they came up here 3 different times, and one of them I wasn't even here for, so I don't even know what the hell happened there, makes me believe that they were probably just like, all right, fuck it, we'll just, like, arrest somebody because it's starting to annoy us. You know what I mean? Like, because, like, when the last cop left, he was like, all right, our shift is ending, so before I go back to the station, I'll let the second shift know, and blah, blah, blah. And the cops that showed up tonight, well, was that second shift. By the time they, those guys showed up the third time, that was them. So they got informed about it. So the MPD is very well aware about this whole situation. Like, I mean, at least, whatever shift was on during this afternoon and for tonight, they know about it. So, it's on their radar for sure. And I, like I said, I think, that's probably a part of me why it's like, they only know so much. And I guess there's a part of me thinking that maybe, like, adding, the third person perspective would probably, like, they probably kept back coming back looking for. Oh no, they did. They were like actually the last that second time I was talking about. They're asking, have you seen him around here anywhere by chance? I was like, no, I was just with my friend, because he was pestering me out, going to Super Rio or chatting with a little bit, talking about the situation and stuff, being like, what the fuck and blah blah blah. But we just like we didn't see him, so that was it. I didn't see him up until he was over here earlier tonight. When him and I were chatting for about an hour, well, maybe not an hour, but like 30 minutes or something like that. Like him and I were chatting for a bit, and then after a while, that's when they showed up. He was mentioning, he's like, yeah, probably, gonna get arrested and stuff like that, but don't worry about it. But I'm just like, I mean, are you? Like, really? And it's like, yeah, maybe, I don't know, but I'm just, just gonna kind of, play it by ear, I guess, at this point. I'm just like, all right, well, hey, if it happens, I guess it happens, man. I just kind of told him that, and we just kind of started, bullshitting for a while. So, whatever. And yeah, they showed up. And that was, we were both right here, and he kind of went, bloop, popped right here for a second, and I just kind of turned the corner and was like, oh, hello, shocked, like, didn't expect to see, like, 3 cops right here, and be like, oh, is Mono in there? I was like, I just, like, back, I like, yeah, like, I couldn't even really say anything yet before, Macy was like, oh, yeah, he's in there and stuff. I was like, well, yeah, he's in there, and they, yelled his name out. It's like, yeah, back here. And I was like, I just kind of, I was like, yeah, he is. I couldn't say anything yet at that point. It just caught me off guard out of nowhere. So I was like, okay. So that was at least, when I ended my stream earlier, after he dipped off and did his own thing or whatever, like, that was the only other time I saw him. And I was just like, well, okay. He seemed like it was fine, if anything, he got some pizza to eat and just kind of, him and I were just chilling. So I don't know. Maybe that was due to what the second time they're called up here. I don't fucking know. I wasn't there for that because I was at the pub playing some pool and shit. So I don't fucking know. It's one of those things where, like I said, I'm just trying to figure out, like, the pieces of the puzzle and, like, maybe they'll probably have some information I could probably like, oh, so that's probably explains this or that, and help, I don't know, like, kind of collaborate, all the pieces of the puzzle that, I might not totally understand and, they might not totally get yet either. I don't know. Like, there's like a part of me is thinking that, but having that dilemma of like, well, they're cops. Like, do I really trust them? I guess like investigators are a little different in comparison to just like cops. So, I don't know. I guess they're not as bad, but I don't know. It's one of those things, dude. Like, what the fuck, dude? Especially when you're just wanting the best for everybody in the situation. But yeah, that's pretty much like the general gist of everything. But like I said, like when they're by themselves, they're pretty fine. Like, cause like I said, Armando was in here for a little bit, just chit chat with me, calm, chill, just if anything, talking about like politics and stuff for a little bit. And until the cops interrupted us. And then and while she's here by herself, she's been fine. If anything, she offered if I want any soup, and I was like, well, it's okay, you can have it because I have this burrito I haven't finished yet. So I was like, so when she's here on her own and no one else, outside of the random claims and stuff like that she'll say, and like, she's chill. Like, so, like, I just think maybe, like, she just needs, like, a stable roof over her head where she could just call home and, be able to be secured in and just, like, call stable ground. She just needs that because, like, roaming in the streets, especially when you're tweaking and shit, and potentially undiagnosed bipolar or undiagnosed schizophrenic or maybe both, that's not good. And if you at least get like a stable roof over your head and at least have a place to call home for a bit, it's like that can at least help kind of get your mind set back on track, even if you still got this shit going on. You know what I mean? Like, it's just one of those things. Like, they just both need a stable spot to just like chill, It's kind of why I initially offered, the shed initially, and I thought at least, when it came to both of them being here, when the first couple times they were here, things were pretty chill. Outside of maybe like the small little argument or whatever, but it never really got this bad. So it's just like, I mean, it's only really been like the last couple of weeks where this is starting to become a fucking problem. Because they've been here for about like, I don't know, at most like 2 months, give or take. I mean, they haven't been here that long. So, and it, like I said, it's only been recently where it's starting to become an issue. And, I think, and I think there are probably some variables to that I have theories over. So, I mean, like I said, I don't, mean that in a bad way or a mean way to either of them, but it's just like, shit. I mean, you gotta work your shit out. You gotta figure something out. Lamau, what's this? Flag of Marxist Bidenism. Dude, I love it, bro. Dude, fucking love it. Hell yeah, bro. Dude, that's pretty based. This finger licking communism, I tell you what there, brother. That's pretty fucking dope. Dude, I love that shit. I love that shit, I tell you what. Play some more music. I kind of wish Morax was in here a little bit. I kind of wonder what his perspective would be about this. I'm not even gonna lie, dude. Because, he's told us in the past where he used to, he had kind of like a tumultuous past and stuff, and, before. So I'm kind of wondering what his, specific kind of, takes would be about this. Obviously, outside of the idea that, whatever's going on is outside of my control. I figured this, obviously, but he was here last time that shit kind of popped off a bit. Luckily, hopefully shit's chill now. So. But. I'm sure you would probably you probably have at least, take I probably wouldn't really think about too much as much. Or at least, haven't really considered as much. Especially considering the fucking circumstances. Ugh. We'll see what's going on for it too. Gets a little sidetracked from the Zebo shits. Last time, Oh, looks like Mike released a new video. Must make Twitter the home of fake news. Of course he did. Journalists can barely compete with the verified users on Twitter. Damn. Dude, Twitter's gone, honestly, it's beaten Facebook when it comes to just, being the shithole of misinformation. Bruh. Can we just, ban Facebook? Or, not Facebook, but fucking Twitter now. Can we just be nah. Because we already know, like, Elon Musk is basically trying to shut this shit down at this point, being like, destroy it from the inside out. So it's like, I mean, might as well just nip it in the bud and say, fuck it. It's like, alright, we're just gonna, like, destroy it. Fuck this. I mean, for fuck's sake, dude. Like, actual journalists are basically struggling to compete with them. Those fucking blue checkmark weirdo far right dork bag motherfuckers that, you know, spew nothing but disinformation. Bruh. Oh, don't not full screen me, YouTube. How dare you? How dare you, YouTube? How dare you not do that for me? There we go. That should fix it.
Literally
I should probably have the screen up if I'm gonna watch this. And turn the volume up probably because I actually can't hear Mike that much.
Single change that Elon Musk has implemented since taking over Twitter has been incomprehensibly stupid when it comes to basic functionality and overall usability. Everything that he has done has made the platform demonstrably worse, and those who use Twitter know that I'm not being hyperbolic. But on top of that, it's also become a safe haven for bigots as well as Nazis. And most recently, it's become evident that Twitter is now a massive cesspool for misinformation and fake news, which is sad because Twitter used to actually be an important tool for journalists to deliver up-to-date information. But now that utility is almost gone thanks to Elon Musk for a number of reasons. First and foremost, Elon Musk stopped using software that is supposed to identify misinformation, and to make matters worse, he's recommended accounts that routinely
hold up.
that is supposed to.
I just read that headline. Elon Musk's Twitter cuts. Yeah, by the way, I'm not calling it that. Cuts disinformation fighting tool ahead of Israel-Hamas conflict. So he purposely cut, you know, disinformation tools and shit leading up to the whole conflict that's going on right now in Israel. Wow.
Identify misinformation, and to make matters worse, he's recommended accounts that routinely spread misinformation. In a now deleted tweet, he recommended War Monitors and Scent Defender for users who want.
I'm pretty sure, like, one of these, I think, is Scent Defender. Like, they're pretty much literally a Nazi.
Information on the Israel-Gaza war. But as journalist Matt Binder points out, here's one example of how unreliable the two accounts that Elon Musk promoted are. There was
initial reports on a large explosion near the Pentagon complex in D.C. Huh? Breaking explosion occurred near the Pentagon in the U.S. Wait, this was actual shit that was being spread as misinformation. Like, the Pentagon was somehow hit? What the fuck?
Obvious AI image posted in May depicting an explosion at the Pentagon. This would be very easy to verify. Instead, both accounts immediately shared the fake image in order to go viral. And this is a direct result of the incentive structure that Elon Musk created, where engagement and virality earned you money, but accuracy does not. Now, on top of that, someone responded to news that the Israeli prime minister told Gazans to leave ahead of his siege and pointed out that there's nowhere for them to go since they're blockaded on all sides.
Well, I think Netanyahu actually did say that, but it was basically the idea of like, oh, you need to like leave these areas that are controlled by Hamas because we're literally going to carpet bomb the fuck out of it. But the problem is that the places that they say that were pretty much still controlled by Hamas is literally like everything, like everywhere. So like it didn't matter. Like, I mean, yeah, they had nowhere to go. Like, what, they're gonna try to like flee to Egypt when like they have to like get approved for a visa and all this other bullshit? Like, nah, bro, that's not what happens.
One of the accounts that Elon Musk recommended responded saying, better find a boat or get to swimming, LOL. Now, let me just first point out the obvious.
Is there really nowhere civilians go? Yeah, and this is the reason why at this point, I don't really give a fuck about the Israeli government anymore, or even the settlers and shit, because the settlers are just like paramilitary colonists and shit that, purposely go out of the way to invade these, communities, Palestinians, raid their homes, either basically like shoot them where they stand, or fucking like evict them out of their homes, tear it down, and build like cheap ass real estate Mughal fucking condominiums, in their place, for them to live in for cheap. Like, I mean, like, these motherfuckers are complicit in the fucking violence that goes on. And unfortunately, Hamas takes advantage of that shit. It's like, I mean, so there really isn't, unfortunately, any good side besides the Palestinian people that just get fucked and, are being ethnically cleansed, from the land. And, and I don't lump Hamas with that. Like, if anything, Israel looks at Hamas as, like, like, if anything, as a beneficial scapegoat because they could just look at them, every single time, they want to fucking literally carpet bomb the fuck out of Gaza, like every Tuesday, basically. Like, I mean, they see them as a benefit, for them to exist. So, I mean, they're not going to utterly crush the shit out of Hamas. They want them to exist, to be a scapegoat so they can just genocide and ethnically cleanse Palestinians out of the land. Like, I mean, it's a whole fucking, project, of ethnic cleansing, in, to the Israeli government. And, these settlers and these colonists, the IDF, and the government are all complicit in this shit.
Utterly despicable to.
And I got no empathy for them. Fuck them. Like, they're complicit in this shit.
But innocent civilians, most of which are.
I mean, there are plenty of Israeli civilians that have nothing to do with this shit, and I feel bad for them too. Like, I mean, they're victims in this shit as well. But, like, I mean, like, not every Israeli citizen, is innocent. Like, there are plenty of them that are settlers and colonizers too. I want to say most of them are. But there's a segment of them that overtly, take part of this ethnic cleansing and are proud and happy to do it. And will, and do it with a smile on their face.
Who are soon going to be bombed to death. That is gross. But as a supposed
they already are.
Of on-the-ground war news regarding this conflict, you would assume that they'd at least know that Gazans also aren't allowed to flee by sea as well, considering the fact that the Israeli Navy is blockading them by sea.
And also the United States Navy is sending the U.S. Navy task force with the Gerald R. Ford carrier. With that carrier task force, they're sending them over to Israel too. To partake in that. I'm sure, that Navy task force is going to see some action here and there and collaborate with Israeli air campaigns and things like that.
The big fence that locks them into Gaza. They also cannot leave via sea. But according to Elon Musk, this is someone who we can trust. But while one of the accounts Elon Musk promoted laughed at Palestinian deaths, the other is viciously anti-Semitic. Matt Binder shared these screenshots of the replies, saying, "Mind your own business, Jew, and go worship a Jew, lil bro." Yeah.
What?
So he promoted one news account that hates...
So it's the War Monitor guy. This guy's the fucking literal Nazi. So I got him mixed up, but what's the difference?
Bro. Yeah. So he promoted one news account that hates Palestinians and the other that hates Jews. I mean, maybe
Civilians been screwed by these war criminals. They are. Like, Palestinians especially, but Israeli civilians, like these war criminals, these settlers, the Israeli government, they're fucking everybody. They're fucking everyone over. I mean, I guess to a lesser extent Hamas as well. I mean, but they are too. Like, I mean, but curious enough how the power dynamic, seems to be very, strongly, towards Israel, and the one, like, group that is kind of fucking things up for Palestinians, that is from Palestine, or the Palestinians, is Hamas. And yet there's, like, 4 or 5 different, like, specific groups and, like, organizations and institutions and the government itself that you could, like, look at. It's like, When it comes to Israel, it's like, oh, I wonder if there's a power dynamic problem going on here.
His way of giving us a both sides take on this. But obviously, he ended up deleting that endorsement of these accounts. But even though he withdrew his endorsement of those 2 hate-mongering accounts, he still regularly interacts with very hateful accounts on a regular basis. That includes libs of TikTok, whose tweets have encouraged nearly a dozen bomb threats. And on top of that, he's interacted with Peter...
Also, apparently, Israel started murdering people in the West Bank despite being on the other fucking side of the country. Yeah, go figure.
A Holocaust denier who was fear-mongering about Muslims in Sweden.
Elon Musk supporting Peter Sweden now, who's a Holocaust denier, and posts this video in my city, Oslo. Sweden is turning a third world country. We have 61 no-go zones. There are child soldiers being used by gangs. 68,000 or 68K women and girls are just is warning. Does this happen? I guarantee you a lot of that is probably not happening. I mean, also, like, I mean, when it comes to gender mutilation, I'm sure that, you know, a lot of that you probably think are due to trans people, don't you, you fucking weird Nazi freak? And Elon Musk is like, exclamation point, exclamation point.
On top of that, he interacts with bigoted far-right account and wokeness, who shared a picture of Muslims in London, calling it a ticking time.
Or just ordinary place that brown people having to live. Yeah, I bet. Like the refugee zones that maybe like Somalis or other, you know, groups of people happen to live in Sweden and shit. You know, I bet that's what it is. I guarantee you it's probably just like different little like community. It's basically the equivalent of redlining. I guarantee you it's just like their version of redlining over there. I bet you that's what it is.
To which Elon Musk responded, saying demographics is
like a lot of these brown and black people that, you know, are refugees and happen to like, you know, get citizenship or live in, you know, in these different countries like Sweden, London, or the UK, places like that. Like they probably have these quote unquote no-go zones that are the equivalent of like redlining, where like essentially systemically these people are shoved off to the wayside in these very impoverished communities and neighborhoods, and forced to basically just kind of like be in these quote unquote like ghettos essentially. The same thing happened in the US and we still see that fucking today. And it's like, I mean, you know, and honestly, that's probably, that sounds like what the fuck is, you know, this shit. It's like the European version of redlining, it sounds like. I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but that's what it sounds like to me.
And as Wild Geerders points out, this is straight up neo-Nazi shit. Any company still buying ads on Twitter should be boycotted. And they are absolutely correct about that. But while we're on the subject of ads, Twitter's new ad format makes it so that
Real estate best Swedish ghettos are a lot nicer than American ghettos. Oh, I'm sure they are. I mean, I'm not going to dog on that. I'm sure they probably are. But, I mean, the fact that there is still, like, some level of systemic, like, redlining or that type of shit that's going on is still a problem, though. I mean, granted, they probably are better, but honestly, I mean, unfortunately, probably not by much. I'm sure a lot of the statistics about, like, crime and all sort of shit are exacerbated and like, hyper-exemplified, and if anything, cherry-picked. I mean, I will definitely guarantee you that. But, I mean, you know, a lot of it's just due to the, like the, you know, systemic redlining shit that's going on in these countries. That's probably why. And, you know, basically the similar politics as to why we've seen the same shit happen here in the U.S., you know, when it comes to brown and black folk that live here in the U.S. and shit. So it has very low crime rates. Yeah, I guarantee you they're probably not accurate. Yeah, I'm sure I bet if we look at the brass tacks of it all, like, I'm sure, like, all of that, you know, crime data and stuff like that will show to be very different. I honestly, I'm willing to make a gut hunch and say that a lot of the crime in Sweden is probably things like petty theft and shit like that. Like shoplifting and shit. You know what I mean? Like, I guarantee you most of the crime in Sweden is probably that, or like drunk driving or something.
Be reported or blocked, nor do they disclose the fact that their ads, which by the way is illegal, as Good Politics and the community notes pointed out. So we've watched the world's richest man devolve into a fascist over the course of a year, and as he goes down, he's taking Twitter with him, which isn't just sad. It's troubling because this has real world ramifications.
I mean, honestly, Elon Musk is always a big kind of fascist.
Right? His radicalization spells doom for the rest of the world. And journalists are now explaining how difficult it is to get accurate information out in this environment that Elon Musk has fostered, because now they're effectively having to compete with verified users spreading fake news and misinformation, because that's what gets clicks and engagement. Wired reports, for many reasons, this is the hardest time I've ever had covering a crisis on here. Justin Peden, an OSINT researcher from Alabama, known online as the Intel Crab, posted on X. Credible links are now photos. On-the-ground news outlets struggle to reach audiences without an expansive blue checkmark. Xenophobic goons are boosted by the platform's CEO. End times, folks. When Peden covered the escalation in Gaza in 2021, the sources he was seeing in his feed were from people on the ground or credible news agencies. This weekend, he says verified content or primary sources were virtually impossible to find on X. Boosted by the algorithm that promotes users willing to pay X $8 a month for a premium subscription, posts from those with a blue check mark shot up to the top of news feeds for people seeking information about the conflict. Rather than being shown verified and fact-checked information, X users were presented with video
Can we just call Twitter for fuck's sake?
footage passed off as footage of a Hamas attack and images of fireworks celebrations in Algeria presented as Israeli strikes on Hamas. There were faked pictures of soccer.
There's also, like, you know, pictures from a video game or videos from a video game, Arma 3, that were used, you know, depicting Hamas shooting down Israeli helicopters.
Holding the Palestinian flag, while a 3-year-old video from the Syrian civil war repurposed to look like it was taken this weekend. As a result, Pedin says that he and his fellow OSINT researchers have to spend their time debunking years-old content rather than verifying and sharing real footage from the conflict. And as this Bloomberg headline puts it, the Israel-Hamas conflict was a test for Musk's X, and it failed. And ironically, you would
It's so much disinformation has spread via fucking, like, Twitter and shit, and it's just insane.
Be able to see that headline if that article were shared on Twitter, because Elon Musk chose to remove headlines to make the site more aesthetically pleasing. Yeah.
Go figure.
As much as I complained about Twitter before as a toxic hell site, before Elon Musk took it over, this is one of those situations where you really don't know what you've got till it's gone. Because love it or hate it, Twitter was useful in disseminating accurate information. Sure, there were issues with fake news before he took it over. Sure, it was still very toxic as a social media platform, but whatever usefulness it once had is now non-existent thanks to Elon Musk. But to his credit, in destroying Twitter, he also destroyed the myth of meritocracy simultaneously, because those who assumed anyone with wealth had to
I mean, honestly, the idea of, like, meritocracy being a thing in this country is
intelligent
a
are
joke
now
at this
realizing
point.
that our capitalist system isn't as fair as they once thought it was, because most people, I think, can clearly see that Elon Musk is not a genius. In fact, he's a giant dumbass.
Because, of course, he is. I mean, because honestly, he's just like, you know, dumb fucking, like, you know, for-profit, like, you know, fashy right-wing weirdo freak. I mean, so that's, yeah, I mean, like, go figure. I mean, you know, honestly, I mean, how long do you think, you know, Twitter's got until it fucking collapses? Because I guarantee you it's probably got at least, like, what? At least, like, 6 months to, like, 10 months. I'll give it 10 months. Not even a year, just 10 months. Like, sometime during the summer next year, it's just gonna be like, alright, Twitter collapsed. Or X. Musk about it, they're running the ground while blaming others. Yeah, I think that might honestly have been the goal. I mean, I think you're right. Just run it to the fucking ground and just, like, let it collapse and shit. Not really ain't too much other stuff. I was tuning into Paul's Ego stream earlier before I called in on my buddy. That was actually kind of on an interesting topic. I think, you know, kind of, you know, peculiar to maybe delve into. So you kind of see where the beginning was. Probably like maybe around here. Maybe. Here, I'll do this. I'll do playback on like 1.25. Yeah. Yeah, boy.
Quit being fucking stupid about it. Quit talking about it. When you're asked about it, just go like, I think shoplifting is based. And I
Oh shit. Yeah, okay. All right. Maybe I went too far ahead. This was the topic. Oh shit. Bad societies see limited potential means for criticism of cyber regime to spread. Well, the thing is, like, I mean, I could kind of get that, but I mean, when they try to do that with other, I don't know. I mean, I could kind of maybe see that, but I don't think that would be the only variable, though.
source distribution that isn't about personal profit.
Oh, fuck. All right, where's the start of this? Son of a bitch.
The fact that just like endless billions of dollars.
Son of a motherfuck. Is it here? I don't think it's here.
It was smooth. Pole vault the dog.
Oh,
12-volt to die.
Oh, you missed some more shit, by the way. Wait, I think did I tell you already? Yeah, Marto came back for a little bit. Yeah, oh yeah, you were here for a second. Well, when he went back in there, the cops came back and fucking arrested his ass.
Did what?
Well, the cops came back and arrested his ass, like, cause she called the cops on him, and said he was here, and all that shit. So yeah, that happens, and yeah. Also, I'm probably gonna go down to the station tomorrow and try to like, I don't fucking know. Like, I mean,
But she's here. Or...
and she's still here. She's fine. I mean, now, when they're by themselves, they're fine. Which I don't know, dude.
I have no idea what the fuck was.
So I already kind of just explained it for like the last
All
like
I
15.
know is what she was telling me. The cops came. I talked to them.
And I was saying earlier when I was trying to run it down earlier on stream, it's like, I didn't, you didn't really know anything, and I didn't really expect you to, because at that point you didn't really know that much. So it's like, I don't know, dude. It's like, what the fuck? It's like, bruh. I mean, because him and I were fine. You saw. we were chilling, just talking.
Seemed chill and normal.
Yeah, now that, I don't know. I'm trying to paint the bigger picture myself, much as everybody else is on this shit.
Yeah,
so
I have no idea.
I'm trying to.
I don't know if they're tweaking or if they're.
Well, the thing is, I don't think Amardo is anymore, because I think he's trying to get away from it. He's told me, he's like, I'm done with that shit. I'm trying to get, my shit back in order. I'm done with this, blah, blah, blah. Because she keeps trying to do it and stuff like that. So I don't fucking know. It's like one of those things where it's like, it's fine now. But, I don't know. It's like, I'm just, maybe, like, if I go down there tomorrow, maybe they'll, like, give me some other information that will say, like, oh, well, here's, what we know, and well, they're probably going to call me. Because the first time they showed up, I was here. The second time, I wasn't, but you were. The third time, when they arrested him, I was here. Because I was talking with them. So I can't fucking tell you're going to call me and be like, hey, could you come down and answer questions? Blah, blah. I'm pretty sure I'm going to get that. So I'm just going to go down preemptively and just say fuck it and be like, look, here, here's my side of things, blah, 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 all shit. Because, like, I think, honestly.
She was saying, like, something like a bloody nose, but I didn't see a whole lot of.
There would be blood stains and stuff as she did, like, on her nose and stuff. Like, she didn't. I never heard anything about that, so I didn't see that. So,
yeah.
She looked fine. At least.
Yeah, she was wiping her nose. It's the Kleenex.
Well.
I didn't see anything until a little bit later. There's blood on it. So I'm not sure if she.
Well.
Did something or what?
I don't know. Like, it's one of those things where, like I said, I'm trying to, like, piece all the pieces together on, like, the very complicated fucking puzzle that this is, and it's just like, what the fuck?
I only have one piece. So.
I get it, yeah. I got more than you, obviously, and I'm sure the cops got their own pieces, and that's kind of what I'm gonna try to do tomorrow. It's like, see if there's, like, some more pieces that I could try to put together and be like, try to see what could be the best outcome for this situation or whatever. Fuck, I don't know. Like, it's like, because on one hand, I want to try to do that, but on the other hand, I don't trust fucking cops, and they're never really in their best interests when it comes to shit. So it's like, I don't want to necessarily incriminate either of them when I'm trying to, like, help both of them. So it's like, fuck. I know, it's like, what the fuck? It's like, ugh.
Who knows?
I know, man. It's like, I don't want to unintentionally, like, try to fuck any of them over, even though I'm trying to help them. It's like, well, that's another thing. It's like,
Whole argument about it.
just what I mean. Why I'm trying to pull the pieces together, because like I think a lot of it is some undiagnosed shit going on top of the tweaking. I think that's what might be happening. I don't know. I mean, I can't confirm it, and but like that's my strong speculation. Even Amaro thinks that, and and at least the first time I was talking to the cops, the first time he showed up before you came back home, like before she walked up, when she heard me talking with him, like he was kind of mentioning, it's like, yeah, like, we think there are probably some other stuff going on, but we just, don't know, and blah, blah, blah. So we're just trying to kind of go on, and just at face value for now, and blah, blah. And then she rolled up, and she was saying some stuff, and he was like, look, I mean, I'm not saying it didn't happen, but we're gonna, try to figure stuff out, and blah, 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 and this and that. And it kind of made me think, like, because lately I've been getting into some true crime shit in the last, like, month or something, and it's like, I've seen enough body cam footage with cops saying stuff like that, where it's like, they kind of suspect shit's going on, but they always say stuff like that to try to, like, make, people feel a little more comfortable and shit, be like, be like, okay, whatever, they're still trying to help me or something, so it's like, it made me kind of thinking back in my mind, like, I feel like he kind of is aware of some stuff, and I want to try to see if maybe I could talk to him, maybe, or something, I don't know, like, something like that, because, like, I mean, like I said, I want to help both of them, but, like, it's like I said, I don't know, it's like, the fuck, it's catch-22, because, like, I feel like if I do that, I might incriminate both of them or one of them, and fuck them over, and I don't want to do that because they're already in a bad spot as it is. Like, because honestly, at the end of the day, she just needs a stable spot. He needs a stable spot away from each other, and I'm sure, honestly, I bet they'll probably be able to figure shit out from there. But like, them, I mean, I know this much, like, them being around each other obviously ain't working out anymore. So it's like, something needs to be figured out with that. I don't know what, but I mean, maybe I can, like I said, like, put some of the pieces of the puzzle together and, like, see what the best outcome can be, before shit gets worse, you know what I mean? Like, mainly for them, especially, but since they're kind of been here, and especially for us, too. So it's just like, I'm kind of the one to drag them in this mess, so I'm going to figure out how to make sure we don't get it back. You know what I mean? This is kind of my whole, issue. So, I mean, I'll take ownership on it, alright? So,
we don't want to get drug into this too far.
That's what I mean. I want to, like, help as much as I can, but not, like, get drugged into whatever shit's going on here. While, like, I don't know. I mean, it's kind of a hard thing to wrap the brain around on. I mean, that's for fucking sure. Because for a while, there was, like, I think, some merit to some of the shit. But I think, in the past, like, month, especially since, they've kind of been here, I don't really think, a lot of this shit that, for, like, being, fucked with and this and that, like, I don't really think that's really going on anymore. Like, so, like, she was saying that, like, when I came home, and obviously you were gone, I mean, that door was locked, but, she was saying that, like, like, that, like, Cordy or whatever, like, came by and, like, took her shit, but it's like, I wasn't here, and in fact, I was literally streaming, so there's, like, actual, like, video proof that, I was here when that was going on, with the time frame that she was saying, and I didn't hear anything besides, me opening the door and letting Zukov out and let him do his own thing, and then at some point, Finley came by and was doing his own thing, and, and came over here and went outside in the backyard, I think, and that was near the end of the stream, and then they were looking for him, and because I at least overheard them, calling his name out, and I was like, oh, they're looking for him? Because he ran out in the backyard, came back in here, I think after, they wandered around to go see where he was, and, I mean, he was doing his own thing, just chilling. So, I mean, at least for earlier, I don't know what the fuck happened, but I know for a fucking fact that nobody was, mess around here. Because I would have heard some shit. And the only shit that I heard was when they woke up earlier and then they let Finley out a little bit and he was coming in here for a minute.
Yeah,
And then they had the...
that you came out.
Yeah.
And then I went back into the bedroom and rest my back a while.
Yeah, so I don't know. It's like I said, there's just like certain things that just obviously aren't adding up where I think there is some form of like psychosis or some shit going on. And it's like, that's, and I think you just need like, I don't know, like, when it comes to like what's going on between her and Armando, it's like, and just in general, it's like, I think they probably should like, get that third person perspective, because we had Brandon at one point, right? And he was schizophrenic, and we know how that behavior was. I'm not gonna lie, like, some of the shit that she does is very similar. Just be honest. I recognize some of those like traits of schizophrenia because he used to have it, and I just think she's undiagnosed. Like, I mean, so I don't know. Like, maybe that could be at least, collaboration element, being like, yo, we used to know a dude who used to live here for a bit, and he was schizophrenic. We didn't know it up until he started having crazy ass episodes and shit. And when he got, put in, I think OHSU or some shit, that's when he got diagnosed, and that's when we found out and stuff. But like, at least, but prior to that, we didn't really totally know. But honestly, like, thinking about it, there's at least certain like elements of like behavior and stuff like that I think is kind of reminiscent. But I mean, like I said, I think it's just like diagnosed, and if treated, I think she'd be fine and stuff. You know what I mean? But oh yeah, it's over here. It's over here. There you go.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Fine when she's on her own. Pretty chill there, so it's one of those things where I just want to try to figure out the pieces of the puzzle. Anyway, won't meander on too much about it. I suppose like the title of the stream is like drama related, I suppose, which I guess it technically is, but whatever. Yeah.
I hope the same for you.
Same.
Hope you had a good time.
Let's see where it like kind of talks about this whole topic.
I already
want to find.
Well, I'm not doing the Israel thing.
Have fun.
Well, I think we should be. I think the excitement's done for tonight.
Onion nuggets on Friday.
Have fun for one night.
I'll continue that when I wake up tomorrow and just go from there, I guess. I had a whole game plan for tomorrow, and it slowly changed after I came back from playing some pool.
All-around tragedy.
I just went to pool to just try to get away from shit, and I came back and shit was more like, what the fuck?
Kind of how I came home and then go play pool, and I just get back in, relax, get back out, have a smoke.
That's a ninja catch.
I heard
War is bad.
sun
Peace is good.
I'm assuming that was probably early in the morning. I was probably not here at that point. I got home at like around like 1 or something like that.
Before you got back.
Yeah.
Humanity coming together to share the world that we're all trapped on.
Do a sack whole ordeal.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It seems like, like every other time they kind of, chill. Because, like, yesterday they were fine. Like, yesterday it seemed like they were all kind of chill and stuff. But, like, the day before that they were okay. But the day before that, I mean, shit was a little weird, but they weren't. That wasn't at our house, at least from what I remember about that. But like, I don't know. It's like a fucking bull, and it's just ridiculous in a way. It's like, holy shit, can we like not like overreact so much? It's like, holy fuck. So tweaking, can we just be like stoning? Get all, just like all realize we're on a ball of suffering rock and just like stone up and just like chill or something.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my goodness. That's how I feel sometimes.
First time I got in an argument, I just like leave and go sit in the forest and like.
Huh. I mean, there's been times where I've like, fucking, would have outbursts where I'd say fucking just like, walk for a while outside and listen to music and shit. I wasn't initially going to do that, but then, Mario came back, and then, the cops came by again and arrested his ass, and I was like, I was going to walk him again, but then, it was, like, so late, and I was like, well, it's raining again. I was like, I'll just fuck this. I'm just going to stream instead or something. Like, because I was like, man, what the fuck? Especially after that, I'm just like, what the hell? What the hell? Ugh.
Well, yesterday was a real busy day, so I was kind of sleeping late. And then I'll bring Christmas mail down to her. Got down there just before bingo. I sat down to play bingo, then Alex called me. He's like, oh, I want to go. Because he mentioned, you want to cash his check and go check out the pool place. Down there in Johnson Creek.
Yeah.
So I called at 3 just when bingo was ready to start. And I was sitting in there. And I go up there and just like, how did you get here so fast? I told you I was down the hall.
It's right, yeah, right around the corner.
And I was like, I may walk slow, but not that slow. It took him forever to get ready.
Well, he probably didn't expect you to be there so quick.
Yeah, you probably thought I was sitting at home or something.
Yeah, so he was probably thinking, oh, I'll call him and he'll be, get on his way over here and I'll slowly but surely get ready. And he didn't expect you to be like right there within like a couple minutes time.
Yeah, it could have been across the hall. It was bingo time, so went down to play bingo. Me and Chris did.
Oh, fuck. Yeah, I was going to try to see Mom tomorrow. All right, well.
Just because we.
Oh, by the way, I haven't really.
Showed up, just because.
I
I
haven't really like told her too much about the show. I was gonna try to see her tomorrow. Oh god, you haven't told her too much about the shit. Well, actually, I probably haven't anyway. But like,
I would say on the message, I told her it's like, yeah, we got a little excitement here.
well, don't tell her too much. If she
say as little as possible.
Yeah.
She's probably pissed because after I dropped Alex off, I didn't go in because of last night running around back and forth.
Yeah.
Doing
Well,
like, I want to go home and get dinner.
Yeah. Well, if
it's like,
well, I'm gonna try to see her tomorrow, and if she says something, then I won't give her, every fucking detail, but I'm gonna at least kind of give her a general just to tell her what happened, and yeah, I don't know. I know she's gonna be like, "What the fuck?" No matter what. So I'm just,
she whips out over everything.
I know. It's like, man, I don't want my mom being like, it's like, because she's just gonna be like, "No, I don't want like any of that." And it's like, I don't know. I don't want, so I'm gonna try to at least, be as vague as possible too, but just be like, yeah, there was like, I've been, having I'll just like give the general gist, like 2 friends who, are homeless, I've been helping out, and they had a little spat, one of them walked off, and apparently, he came back, after I was at pool and this and that, yeah, there was another spat, but I wasn't there for it, and I don't know, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I'll just keep it vague. I don't know. Like, I don't want my mom freaking the fuck out over it, because I know she will be like, what the fuck, no matter what, so.
Yeah, if she gets her schnoz into things, she'll be wanting to do all kinds of shit.
Well, I mean, I think, well, considering, I think I've told her that I've had, a modern shown here before, so I think, like, she knows that. And actually, no, because I was telling her, it's like, we were thinking about having, at least just him, potentially, maybe moving in here for a little bit. At least, we can help get back on his feet and stuff. And I was telling her that, but that was a while ago. But, yeah, so I guess, I mean, in a way, she kind of knows about him specifically. So, yeah, well, I guess I'm going to have to tell her a little bit about that situation anyway. But like I said, I'm going to at least try to give it some vagaries, and I don't know, maybe.
Yeah,
Dude, I had a whole game plan just like hanging out with her for a little bit, and and all. Oh my god. Tonight I changed my game plan because like I said, it's like I already know. I feel like I might be called in for like questioning and stuff, not as like a suspect, but at least like as a witness to things, and try to collaborate.
Yeah, that car wreck, he just called me on the phone and asked me what I saw. Or I gave a statement at the scene, and then.
Oh, so you got another call back and stuff.
Yeah. Later, because here's my name, here's my number.
Yeah, I'm sure I'm gonna get the same thing. Probably tomorrow, if anything, considering the arrests and stuff. So. Oh, fuck no. But I'll just, like I said, I'm just going to give him, my honest perspective about it, and, my theory about the whole situation, and, at least why I'm going to let him chill here and stuff, and my...
I think they just pulled into the dispensary, too.
Damn.
Why was it there? I was getting Chris a cartridge. Another one of those. Everyone wants me to do everything all at one time. It's usually on Wednesday nights when I have to do with the trash.
Yeah, well.
One night I have to make sure I get a bunch of shit done, and I always have a bunch of other shit that Carol and Krista want to have done.
Oh, you want these back? Here you go.
Oh, you can keep it if you want.
I don't want them. She only needed one of them, apparently, so.
I guess I'll stick them in the kitchen.
I don't use it. Little back aid Tylenols or whatever.
Things, so. There's some more out here somewhere too. Probably in the kitchen. Okay, so squeeze them through. I'm not sure if you want to lock that door or not. I'll leave it up to you.
I mean, I'll still be up, so I probably will before I go to bed, but actually, yeah, I probably will. Yeah, I'm just gonna take a piss real quick anyway. I'll be right back. Hey, baby boy.
Good boy.
I think I found a little timestamp that Paul was talking about and shit. At least what I wanted to find, kind of delve into before I kind of tangented off of Pops.
Hopefully save it from horrible mass extinction. Good.
Let's have a little Sukov up here.
Politicians bad.
True.
The proletariat good. Working people good. Poor people good.
Come on.
Rich people bad.
Get over here. God, you lazy fuck.
Post-monetary system of resource distribution that isn't about personal profit and ensures that everybody has access to the things that they need and want.
Oh.
Continued rape of the planet to line the pockets of an ever smaller group of mega billionaires. Bad. I mean, what else? Yeah, Paul, good. TJ, bad.
TJ is indeed bad.
Yeah, Lockheed Martin, bad.
So is his dog.
The fact that companies like Lockheed Martin outright own a huge part of our national governmental structure, bad. The fact that just like endless billions of dollars disappears down the most destructive fucking industry in human history, bad.
True, my dude. My guy, my dude. True. He's kind of talking about shoplifting at one point, and I think he might get into it at some point. Because I remember him discussing that at some rate. Hey, little baby. Little good boy, baby. Oh.
Dog's good.
Doggo's good, yes,
Cat's
indeed.
good.
Doggo's good. True.
Human beings, bad.
Doggo's good. Look at this doggo. Such a good doggo. Oh. Little sweet doggo. Stretch the little doggo. Yes.
Moderate social democracy, which takes a pragmatic approach, good. Ideological fart-sniffing socialism, bad. All right.
Wow. What a strong man, dude. I love it. Oh, look at this good ball.
Do you guys know that there's like a lefty discourse? I know it's not like super big right now, but I know it's been kind of going on about shoplifting. You guys want to hear what I think
Here
about
we go.
shoplifting? Because
Yeah.
like, it's a huge thing, recently, like the news, like people are just like, mobbing into stores and just taking whatever they want, right? And I don't know that I've given my take on it.
You haven't?
You guys want to hear my take
Yes.
on shoplifting? Yeah, Cenk is mad about it. There's a good section of
Anna Kasparian's mad about it, going full right wing
Look,
on
I
it.
understand that oppressed people often steal to support themselves, and within an exploitative system like capitalism, sometimes stuff can be necessary. But there's a difference between that and just like running up in the Balenciaga store and stealing everything in it. You know what I mean? Come on. It's not like they're stealing
Come on.
cheese and crackers, my dude.
My guy.
Shoplifting good. No qualifier. Shoplifting good. No qualifier. No caveat. Fuck it.
True.
I don't care if it's as a form of lining your pockets. I don't care if you don't have a single solitary fucking principle in life other than I want to fucking come up on some free Balenciaga. I want to come up on a free iPhone.
Make that hustle.
Fuck what your motive is. Shoplifting.
I mean,
good.
I tend to kind of agree, honestly, with this one. At least IMO. I mean, considering the material conditions that people have to deal with.
Taking these fucking worthless, jacked up, overpriced, overtaxed pieces of fucking garbage that were sold and finding a way to get it for free, good. Period. What am I supposed to do? Like shed a tear for the iPhone store? Shed a tear because an Apple store?
Dude, honestly, funny enough, like the Apple store in Portland literally had like some like fortress like style fence around it for like multiple years after 2020 when the fucking BLM protests happened here in Portland. It was fucking ridiculous. Like, they finally took it down, I think, earlier at the very late end of last year. You know, but yeah, it was just like, bruh. Like, I mean, like, you had that shit up forever. You know, because they're worried about, like, you know, people breaking in and smashing the fucking glass and stuff like that and all this other shit.
Fuck off. Shed a tear because some fucking 7-Eleven got run up in and somebody stole all the Funyuns. Oh my god, man, let me get my handkerchief. Oh no.
The Funyuns, oh no.
Not the Funyuns.
You know, honestly, you know what? Fuck you, Paul. What if I want my goddamn Funyuns, you know, when I go at 7-Eleven?
Give me a fucking break, bro. I give a fuck, dude.
What, am I supposed to sell for Lay's?
See, that's because I'm against this fucking exploitative capitalist system. Do I have to participate in it? Otherwise die? Yes.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Like that doesn't mean I go to bat for the fucking corporations that are selling me slop.
Yep.
Fuck them. Fuck them all. If you can take some shit and get away with it, dude, I ate the po-po. I'm not gonna fucking call the anonymous tip line on your ass. You fucking do what you want, bro. As far as I'm concerned, you own most of that shit anyway. It came out of your planet. It was scooped up off of what used to be your ancestors' land and turned into fucking cheap tchotchkes and shit. Fucking dumbass leather purses that are thousands of dollars. Go get that. If you can get that shit, get away with it, dude. More power to you. I'm not necessarily like saying go out and do it because it is a risky fucking thing. But hey, if your mind is made up, dude, you ain't got to worry about me calling in on it. You ain't got to worry about me fucking pretending I give a fuck about the profits of the fucking Apple store or some fucking cell phone outlet or wherever, like some shoe joint gets knocked up. You know, fucking Nike, which puts together its product using fucking Chilean child slave labor.
Or, like, you know, Target, you know, like, when it comes to, like, their excuse of, like, oh, well, theft is the reason why we're closing a lot of stores. But if you look into it, a lot of the stores that are closing aren't even, like, you know, due to theft necessarily.
What the hell are they going to make money if people keep stealing their shit?
Like, the stores that, you know, surround those type of stores actually tend to be more ridden with the whole idea of theft and shit in comparison to the ones that they want to shut down.
Like, huh?
Hey.
No, sorry, don't give a fuck.
Hey.
Never gonna give a fuck. You're not gonna convince me to give a fuck. I don't care about the optics of it. Dude, what about the optics of everything being a fucking corporate slop bucket? Of low quality, overpriced, unattainable fucking horse shit. Like, I'm sorry, I'm more concerned with the optics of that than people going in and taking whatever they fucking want.
Yeah, because honestly, I'm the same way. I don't really care that much. Like, I mean, I understand that due to socioeconomic conditions right now, like, there are definitely going to be people out there that are going to definitely do a little shoplifting here and there and stuff like that. Like, and honestly, I don't really begrudge them. I'm in a situation myself where I don't need to do that, you know, and, like, I hope I don't ever really necessarily have to be in a situation like that. But, I mean, I understand why people are in those predicaments, you know, like, you know, so, I mean, it's one of those things where I can understand why people do shit like that. And I don't begrudge people, and I, you know, like, would say, hey, if you think you need to do it, then I get it, you know. Especially considering that I'm a, you know, grocery store worker, I kind of look the other way, being like, hey, look, you ever taking, like, you know, $5 here and there or some shit, I'm not going to really worry about it that much. I kind of, you know, like, I mean, you know, like, I can kind of get it, you know, when it's, like, you know, taking a whole shopping cart and stuff like that. Like, I mean, that's a little fucked up, but, like, I mean, you know, like a couple bucks here and there. I mean, you know, people honestly do that all the time. Like the highest rate when it comes to you know, like when it comes to like, you know, theft and stuff at stores, you know, it tends to be from self-checkout because a lot of people will, like, sneak a few things here and there in their pockets, you know, while you know, buying, you know, a bunch of other stuff, you know. So it's like, this happens a lot. I mean, you know, and there's plenty of people that don't really, like, you know, do that shit entirely and stuff, but, like, there are definitely going to be, like, plenty of people that, you know, are in a situation where they feel like they need to do that.
Paul, what's the most expensive thing you've ever stolen? I mean, honestly, I'm not a thief. I haven't really stolen a whole lot of shit. It's like outright stolen shit in my life. Like, honestly, I probably couldn't name you 2 times I've stolen.
Honestly, for me, like, probably when I was, like, maybe 20 or 21, when I, like, you know, maybe took like a fucking, I don't know, like a pumpkin or some shit from like, you know, my work or like, yeah, maybe from like some other store or something like that. I mean, honestly, when it comes to like overt theft, I mean, because like, I mean, when you have a bunch of pumpkins sitting outside, you know, in the front of your store, it's not really hard to just like yoink one and walk away with it. You know what I mean? So it's like, I mean, I don't know. You know, it's like, I mean, I was, like I said, I was like a teenager, like fresh out of high school. I was a little dork, but I mean, you know, like it's, you know, like I don't even, how much would a pumpkin be per pound at like a Safeway? I don't even know. Like, so I mean, but I would assume that just because it's, you know, it's a pumpkin, it's like this big honking thing, you know. So I'm assuming it's something like that, maybe.
Something. Like, I just don't choose to fucking get down. Like, I don't want to go to jail. You know, like,
No shit.
before I get my shit elsewise, but
Done that once when I was protesting. Not fun. At least it's for justice, though, but still. Not fun.
But yeah, I don't want to see any, like, leftists. It's time to stop sniveling. Like, quit letting the media whip you up into a frenzy about some fucking snatch and grabs, dude.
No shit.
Don't be stupid. Don't let the corporate media convince you to, like, oh, look over here. People are taking things out of the fucking Hermes outlet.
Oh no.
Don't let them do it, dude. Quit being fucking stupid about it. Quit talking about it. When you're asked about it, just go like, shoplifting is based. And I really, like, I tell you what, dude, if we can handle these 30 mission critical fucking things if human beings want to survive, then maybe we can talk about the ethics of shoplifting. How about that?
I got that to agree.
If it's something you need, take it. I mean, whatever. You can put that qualifier on it. I don't particularly give a fuck if you need it. But that's just me. I'll probably get this channel banned now too for being honest about that.
I mean, I'm more inclined if you absolutely need it, then I can understand it. But if you don't, then, eh. But I don't know. Either way, I don't really care that much.
Or worse things in the world to worry about than merchandise, bro.
Exactly.
Like, some fucking shitty, overpriced merchandise disappearing out of a store is like as worrisome as a cloudy day to me. Like, I can't even imagine fucking. I can't even imagine, dude. We would live in such a utopia. Like, if that was something I could even begin to be concerned about, I give a fuck. You know what? Neither do the people that work there, because they don't have a fucking interest in that shit. 99% of them don't give a fuck if you steal either. They get paid either way.
Yep. They'll count for things like eternal theft, which would technically mean employees stealing things, and they don't really crack down on shit like that. Honestly, and I do. Like, I pay for my shit. Like, honestly, these things are on sale for like 79 cents. I mean, it's fucking steal already as it is with a deal like that. So, I mean, especially with my discounts, I mean, it's even slightly cheaper, you know, on top of that. So it's just like, hey. I mean, so, like, you know, honestly, for me, there isn't, like, any incentive for this shit. Like I said, I can understand why people do. And I ain't gonna begrudge that. But it's like, I mean, because, I mean, look how the fucking conditions are right now. Like, just because someone like me might be able to afford, you know, things like this or whatever the fuck, that's not something everyone does. And just because they jack a few of these or whatever the hell, I'm not going to worry about it. You know, it's not that big of a deal to me. Hey.
Yeah. I mean, look, dude, I ain't telling you to go do it. I ain't giving you no advice on how to do it or when to do it or where to do it. Like, that ain't that's not what I'm doing here. I'm just saying that if, like, you got a checkered criminal past and your rap sheet looks like a bunch of fucking shoplifting, you're cool with me. I mean, I'll, like, leave you alone in my home or whatever. Cool with me. I got bigger fish to fry than you. You get yours. You only live once. You only get so many trips around the sun. You want to fucking risk it for the biscuit?
Risk it for the biscuit.
Fry,
True. That's also how I feel about it, honestly, at the end of the day.
I saw probably just as many Louis Vuitton stores in Vegas as I did start. Oh my god, can you imagine, Naru, the national tragedy if a bunch of fucking kids put on some fucking stocking caps and ran up in one of those fucking stores and stole a couple mini skirts out of it, bro? I don't even know how the world would, dude. Would the clocks even keep ticking after that?
No, they would collapse. Dude, society would collapse. Son. Society will collapse.
Fuck them all. I think the value of private property ends where corporate exploitation begins. Dude, they're in our cities. Think about this shit. This is where we live, dude. They're in our backyard. They're here at our pleasure. When's the last time people thought about corporations like that?
Probably not for a long time.
Like, that's what...
Apparently, it goes up into war crimes or leveling entire neighborhoods, preventing water, food, medicine deliveries to shooting Palestinian protesters at the West Bank. They've already killed at least, like, 8+ fucking, like, journalists, too, that are covering, you know, the coverage on the ground as well. Like, I mean, yeah, dude, like, it's a fucking neo-Nazistic fascist regime and shit. Like, yeah, it needs to just be, like, yeah, abolished. Like I said, I don't fucking have empathy, you know, for the whole idea of an Israeli state anymore. I mean, I still have plight for the Jewish people that especially are victims of the shit that have nothing to do with this. But there are, like, apparatuses of the Israeli government that are absolutely fucking exacerbating the shit, or just, like, callously just, like, doing it and flaunting it, like, you know, waving their dick around like, fuck it, whatever. Like, a lot of different heads of the Israeli government openly say that they're fucking fascists and shit. And this has been a project since day fucking one of the inception of their fucking nation and government. Even though, like, a bunch of people, you know, who are, you know, Israeli and Jewish, you know, went there as, you know, ostensibly as a place, you know, for to feel safe. And these motherfuckers have exacerbated, you know, more harm and more danger and more, you know, risk to their fucking lives, as much as, you know, Palestinian people, if, you know, and all this other shit. I mean, it's just like, I mean, I mean, it's like, I mean, it's pretty obvious, you know, what the fucking root cause of this problem is. It's not like, you know, some sort of demographic issue. It's not like the Jews. It's the Israeli government and these colonial, like, paramilitary, like, you know, paramilitary Israelis types and, like, settlers and shit. Like, those are specifically the motherfuckers. No other Israeli or Jewish person has anything licking my dick to do with this shit, regardless of what their opinions are. I mean, there's specific people that you could point to with this shit. Like, I mean, they're like, honestly, like, the amount of, like, insane, unhinged shit over it that's going on right now is fucking wild to me. On both ends, frankly. Like, on the, like, anti-Israeli bent and also on, like, the anti-Palestinian bent. It's, like, it's literally unhinged. On, like, I mean, like, the Hitler particles are on max on, like, every level. And it's like, bruh, like, what the fuck, man? It's seriously fucking ridiculous. Because, like, I mean, like, what the fuck? It's like, that's like another situation. Like, what the fuck do you do? Outside of just trying to put the Israeli government to heel. Like, that's really the only thing I can think of. Like, you have to, like, you know, cut off the funding and, you know, the investment of the, you know, broader Zionistic Israeli, you know, apartheid agenda, you know, and that includes, frankly, crippling their government. I mean, like, I don't know what other fucking solution there is, you know, because that's the only way to bring them to heel and fucking, like, bring them to the bargaining table. And because, honestly, they're the ones who need to make the most amount of concessions. In fact, they're going to be the only ones making concessions as far as it realistically is concerned. So, I mean, yeah, like, they're going to need to at some point. Like, because it's getting over, like, it's not just, like, some sort of, you know, long-term political dispute. This is literally a Holocaust-level fucking ethnic cleansing. I mean, I've kind of half-assedly joked a little bit. It's like, were there, like, you know, secret, like, Jewish Nazis that, like, fled, you know, with, you know, other Jews to Israel after, you know, in 1948 or some shit? Because, like, holy fuck. Like, you know, some of these motherfuckers in government pretty much don't sound any different from those motherfuckers. I mean, it's like, what the hell? Like, considering that they were persecuted by a Holocaust, you would think that they would not do one on other people. But I guess not. They're just like, nah, eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth. We're going to do that because fuck it. I mean, it's like, what the fuck? Like, what do you do with shit like that? I mean, especially when it's, like, such a hot topic just on the surface of it, on the bat. Because if like to some people, even the slightest criticism of Israel, especially with what I was saying, I would basically be, the equivalent of like some neo-Nazi anti-Semite or some shit, criticizing Israel the way I did just a second ago. Even though nothing I was saying has anything to do with that shit. In fact, I utterly detest it, and I would punch the fucking face, in out of any motherfucker like that. So fuck a motherfucker like that. But like, I mean, you can still criticize, a government and like groups of people that are exacerbating, little war crimes and shit. You can still look at groups of people and be like, fuck you for exacerbating this shit. That doesn't mean like literally every single person that's in that broader demographic somehow at fault. Because like I said, like, there's plenty of Israeli citizens, and I argue a majority of them have nothing to do with that shit. I mean, they're just like a part of, the state, and they're probably propagandized with a lot of bullshit and probably, or apathetic or like, okay with it, or maybe like softly against it and this and that. But at the end of the day, like, not every single one of the motherfuckers are partaking in that shit, and I feel for them. But like I said, there are definitely certain specific, like actors, and like different groups that, have fundamentally played a role as to why the conflict has exacerbated to the point it is the way it is. And it's predominantly on the Israeli government. And a lot of these settlers have exacerbated and literally, like, gone into these, people's homes and destroyed them and ruined their, whatever fucking, like, life they might have had there at that community, in that village. And either, if they resist, just basically shooting them themselves if the IADF ain't helping them and shit. Like, stuff like that. It's like, I mean, those motherfuckers are absolutely complicit in this shit. So it's like, I mean, there's so many different groups that are certainly, a major role as to why, like I said, it's grown to the way it is. But, like, and that's definitely the key to it. It's like, you can't just, like, put it in an absolute. Because there's also different, groups, in the Palestinian, like, movement for, like, sovereignty and independence and shit that isn't just Hamas either. And, they've also participated in some of this, like, counterattack stuff, but aren't obviously, being specifically mentioned considering the egregious crimes that Hamas is doing, which I think, underpinning what, they've been doing in comparison to what Hamas has been doing, I think is also kind of unfortunate because, like, those organizations should be put more into the international limelight because, like, a lot of them are like the Democratic Freedom Front and stuff like that. Democratic Freedom Front Palestine and, and like, shit like that. Like other organizations that, certainly don't have as much prominence, but, do exist and they are out there, and they also are like kind of, partaking in this, resistance as much as Hamas is in a way. Not to the same, egregious, shit, but, they are. And it's like, so, I mean, the fact that they're not talked about is just kind of like, what the fuck? Because, I mean, I think they definitely should. Like, because, I mean, they're definitely a part of this whole conflict, too, just as much as, unfortunately, as much as Hamas is. I think a lot of it's just because they don't have the same amount of numbers. There's just more numbers in Hamas in comparison to these other groups, and that's probably why. That it is easy to scapegoat ball into Hamas when they're the most egregious of them all. It's easy to just lump them all in that basket. So, there's that too. And in fact, I think that's the main reason. Easy to call all of them Hamas, including, innocent Palestinians in the conflict. Let's say it's specifically an Israeli Hamas issue. Like, I've also noticed that within, like, some media too. Like, I mean, like, some of the latest, like, top news, even on YouTube, is just like the Israeli-Hamas conflict, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, what? I mean, it's like, this isn't exactly, just an Israeli-Hamas thing. Like, I mean, like, so the media's already, like, I mean, look at this. The Minnesota lawmaker weighs in on Israeli-Hamas conflict. Progressives push out Israel, the U.S. support for Israel, blah, blah, which is actually pretty base. Harvard student blamed the groups blame Israeli regime for Hamas attack. You know, and then something about the Iron Dome. The Skittles ban or something. I have no idea what that's about. Israel-Hamas war specifically. Israeli soldiers clear bodies after attack at Kfar Aza, which that doesn't sound ominous. With this fucking freak, you know, smiling with his fucking gun. More charges against Santos. And, you know, just a lot of shit going on with that. But, you know, every time it's specifically mentioned about Palestinians, it's just like only maybe 1 or 2 times. And every other time is basically Hamas specifically. It's like, curious how that narrative's being spun already. Where it's just like, literally, I guess every single Palestinian that might be partaking in this whole shebang is basically just immediately Hamas no matter what. Convenient. Even though, like, all of them aren't. Sure, there are definitely a contingency of them that are, but, like, not every single motherfucker is. And it's just ridiculous to think otherwise. Because you can still denounce Hamas and also the Israeli government at the same time, because, wow, shocker, that's a thing you can do. Wow, who would have thought that? Hey. You know what? I'm going to get this motherfucker a bath. Drive me nuts with that. Oh, wait. Hey. Alright, get over here. Get over here. Hey, come here. Is someone going to get a bath tonight? Is someone getting a bath tonight? Come here. Come here. Someone going to get a bath? I think you is. Come on. Come on, come here, little hoe. Seriously? You're just gonna stare at the street. Come on. Oh my god, you fucking fruit. Sukov drinks the bathwater and blasphemes the tub. Well, he blasphemes the tub because he hates being in there, but he won't drink the bathwater. He actually hates it. He does not like it. He's very resistant when he realizes, oh shit, I'm getting a bath. In fact, that's probably why he's resistant to getting this treat, because he knows that he just hurt me. So he's like, oh fuck. It's like, oh shit, I don't want that. But too bad you're getting it. It's going to be good for you. Little hoe. Stumping him in the laminate. It's too cold for that. I don't want to fucking freeze, okay? I don't want hypothermia. Eat a splash. I don't want to do that to him. It's too cold. I don't want to get in hypothermia. Plus, you know how far away that is right now in comparison to where I'm at. Like, fuck that shit, bro. That shit, bro. What's up, doggo? You get in the bath and you're gonna like it. Would you just get this fucking treat already and just accept it? Embrace the treat. His dog type reflexes, he'll be fine. Well, he's getting better about it. Dude, he literally pawed at his food bowl, even though he has a treat that he can snack on. I'll get you food when you get this, okay? Come on. You are a stubborn fuck, dude. Come on. Come here. Come here. Come here. Come on. Come on. Come here. Come on. Come here. Come on. Oh my fucking god. You know, fine. Here you go. So I got probably like that better than a bath. Yeah, probably. Wish we had a sauna. That actually wouldn't be that wouldn't be bad at all. I like that. Wish it was 4:20 a.m. Oh fuck! I'm saying that kind of excitement because I can smoke this bowl for 4:20. But I'm at least, like I said, gonna give him a little bit. I guess, by the time, like, it's all said and done, he kind of gets a little bit of a sauna bath, because, like, once I finish, bathing him, I'll, wash myself, take a shower, and he'll, basically be in a sauna at that point. So, I guess he technically is in a sauna for a little bit. Yeah. Once I get him all showered up and stuff, I'm gonna, call it good myself too for the evening. Not having weed. Boo. That's sad and unfortunate. Because yes, it is. It is indeed 1 minute past now. You don't, and it's sad. Boo. Anyway, I guess it's a little fluffy dork ball a little bit, so I'll call it good for the rest of the evening and be back around tomorrow. Don't know when. I'm probably going to take care of some business first, so anyway, peace out, and of course, I'll see y'all in the next one, so a toodaloo, everybody.